Well, hey everybody. Welcome to the Sunday night golf stream where we are going to play some golf and talk a little bit about Star Wars. This should be fun. So, just trying to pick which course I want to play. I was thinking about this a little bit. And where is the course? Oh. Oh, I guess we're just going to pick a course at random. What's one I haven't played? Ooh, Royal St. George's, we haven't played that yet. We're going to play the red. Force realistic. Bump that up to 11 since that's what more tournaments play. You know what I forgot to do that's kind of important? Connect my connect the Mevo Plus. Just give me a second while I take care of that. Getting used to the new how to stream and all that stuff. So we're gonna do an alignment. But I guess I can kind of walk through what I'm doing right now. So I don't like keeping my Mevo Plus on the floor every night. So what I do before I go live is I set up everything. So I put my driver on the screen roughly where I want the Mevo to align up to. There's actually this tiny mark on the screen. That's how I know where to put it. And then there's a camera in the Mevo Plus with a little red line of where it needs to be aligned to. And that's how it works. So let's go. And let's make sure everything looks good. Royal St. George's. I haven't played this course in a very long time. This is where they held the 2021 British Open that I believe Colin Morikawa won. So, why not? Royal St. George's. I thought it'd be fun, besides just playing golf, talk a little bit about Star Wars. I happen to be a fan of Star Wars, a fan of the movies. Grew up with them my whole life. There's a new show, Andor, that just came out that I have not watched yet, so that won't be included in any of this. But before I do, I thought it'd be fun just to level set and then talk a little bit about which Star Wars movies I like the most, which ones I like the least. So you're going to see the rankings come up on the left-hand side of your screen, somewhere over here. I'll kind of move the camera down. So I'm going to start out with my least favorite Star Wars movie. We're going to jump right into this. And that is Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. I think people either love or hate this movie. I do not like it. I think there's a handful of things that could have been done to make this movie a lot better. I won't say anything that's probably already been said on the internet already. But let me hit a tee shot and I'll talk a little bit more about it. Pushed a little right. Deep rough. Not where I want to start. I didn't really warm up today. It's more of a casual round for me. So back to The Last Jedi. I try not to be too negative about it. So if you've heard the complaints, I share many of those complaints about the movie. But I will talk about a few things that I think would have made the movie a little bit better. First and foremost, spoiler if you haven't watched these movies, when Rey and Kylo fight and they go their separate ways, why not just have Rey go with Kylo? That would have been a cool twist. End the movie with her defecting to the dark side. I think that could have been a very interesting storyline that I really wish they would have explored. I did not get enough behind that. Second, and believe it or not, my biggest complaint about the movie, swap out the character of DJ and replace it with Captain Phasma. So if they go to the casino planet, get thrown in jail, I mean, they get thrown in jail for some pretty silly reasons, but let's just say they get thrown in jail, and in that jail is Captain Phasma, and instead of being, the gung-ho Imperial officer or First Order officer that she is in the movie, what if she was just kind of down on her luck, looking to get revenge? I say that because, come on, get on the green. All right, we're there. And we're putting, not bad shot. Because the whole point of that storyline is, can they trust DJ, yes or no? And it goes back and forth whether, the movie tries to make you think you can trust him, then you can't, then you can, then you can't. But you've never met DJ before. But you've met Captain Phasma. So if they meet her in the jail cell and she's all anti-First Order, I think that would have been a great moment of whether or not you could trust her or not, as she's helping the rebels. Anyway, that's just my personal opinion on the movie. So let's see if we can hit this par putt, 24 feet, slightly downhill. Missed it. Bogey on the first hole. So we made bogey. We revealed that The Last Jedi is my least favorite Star Wars movie. Just because it's my least favorite Star Wars movie, or it's low on this list, doesn't mean I don't like the movie in general. In this case, though, I really didn't like the movie, unfortunately. But there's a few at the bottom of my list that I don't think are bad movies. So I'm going to jump into my number 11 film as we tee up here in the second hole. And my number is The Book of Boba Fett. So I probably should have clarified this at the beginning of the stream. In my rankings, I'm including the 9 Skywalker Saga movies, the 2 spin-offs, Rogue One and Solo, The Mandalorian, and The Book of Boba Fett. This came in at number 12. That's a good drive. I did not like the show at all. This just felt like they didn't know what they were doing. They were just throwing out a show with Boba Fett's name on it in hopes of that would be enough to carry it. It clearly wasn't. I do give them a little bit of kudos for recognizing that halfway through the show and throwing the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda back in it, but I thought the acting was pretty subpar for even Star Wars. Overall, I just wasn't a fan of the show. I thought it was silly. I thought the biker game was just silly. Push that a little right. Sit right there. Ooh, I thought I got a little more backspin than that. The whole episode where Boba Fett wasn't even a part of it. I always thought of Boba Fett as a character who was one who was feared throughout the galaxy. And in this show, he was trying to be the mob boss with a heart of gold. I just didn't think it worked, especially in this context. So that's why it appears as number 12 on my list, as I hit a 24-foot putt, breaking to the left. I hit that hard, but I hit the hole and it stopped it. All right, good accuracy, a little too much speed. We made par. So par 3, 214. I didn't set any wind. So, I will say I did enjoy a couple of the episodes. I did enjoy the ones that weren't focused on Boba Fett. The episode with Ahsoka and Luke I thought was fun. I enjoyed the last episode, even though it got a little bit hokey there at the end. But overall, not a show I'm going to watch again. Ooh, pushed it just a little right, but I got a lot of it. Kick left. This is going to be uphill putt. Alrighty. This is going down, isn't it? Interested in your thoughts, if you agree, disagree. Again, this is just my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, and I reserve the right to change my opinion at a later date and time, which I probably will. As a matter of fact, if you would ask me to rate this fist even just a year ago, it would look a lot different than it does today, as I hit a 64-foot putt. Wow, that actually worked. Sit, sit. Usually the Milo doesn't pick up putts like that. So if you're just tuning in, either to the live stream or watching this back on replay, playing some golf at Royal St. George's. As I play, I'm just going to kind of walk through my rankings of my favorite Star Wars movies. I'm starting with my least favorite, going to my most favorite. We started off with The Last Jedi as my least favorite. Since I'm including the 2 live-action shows and the 2 spin-off movies, there's 13 items on this list. Number 12 was The Book of Boba Fett. Let's reveal number 11 here. Oops. Number 11, The Rise of Skywalker. This movie just felt like an apology for the last movie. I don't know how else to say it. It seemed like, the point in the movie where I believe Rey goes to throw the lightsaber and the Force Ghost of Luke catches it and makes a joke about not throwing away, stuff like that. I don't know. As much as I didn't like The Last Jedi, I think the fact that this felt just like an apology for it, it just felt off. Like, it almost like Disney was trying to overcorrect for a mistake. That being said, there were a few moments in this movie I really liked. The fight with Kylo and Rey, where they're kind of doing the Force. They're fighting through the Force. I don't know how to describe it. She's in one location, he's in another, but they're still fighting each other. I thought that was a cool idea. I thought it was pretty well executed. I also like the fight when they're on the water planet. Some cool effects. I thought the ending was kind of lame. I'm all the Sith and I'm all the Jedi. Blah, blah, blah. That's a beautiful 8-iron, by the way. But overall, real good get up there. The Rise of Skywalker, well, it had some fun moments. I didn't mind it being a fetch quest movie. I just felt like if you're going to bring Palpatine back, he should have been brought back as maybe like a Force Sith Lord, or I'm not up on the details of the lore, so I don't know if that's something Sith Lords do. But just basically bringing him back from the dead, have a big bad guy, just seemed like a bit of an overcorrection from the other movie. Did I hit it hard enough? No, I didn't. Oh, that was a great chance at birdie, and I blew it. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next one. At number 10, Revenge of the Sith. I think a lot of people, if anybody watches this, aren't going to be happy with this. I feel like a lot of people who love the prequels, this is their number one movie. Uh, and for the people who don't like the prequels, this is the best of those movies. I just don't like this movie. Um, like I said, I feel the same way kind of about The Rise of Skywalker. It has a couple of good moments. Um, Hitting hybrid, by the way, here, trying to get this in the fairway. That's a good hybrid. There are a couple of good moments. I love the opening to this movie. The ship's flying around, the battle scene, going into Grievous's ship. That whole sequence I thought was great. I really like Grievous as a character. I wanted more of him. I didn't think he was in the movie enough. And I thought it was an interesting character that this half organic life form, half machine, kind of a Vader before Vader. But I don't think he was force sensitive. But just showing that that was possible. That organic life form could be combined, that he was a general. I liked all that. I did not like Anakin's turn to the dark side in this movie. It just kind of felt rushed and like very much, we're going to check the box. That's a great shot too. This is where we're starting to see movies a little bit short. I guess I was uphill more than I thought. I will say this. This is the movie, and every other movie on this list are movies that I like, I enjoy, I will watch again and again. But, you know, out of all the movies, Star Wars movies that I like, this one just happens to be the one I like the least. Like I said, the whole Anakin turning to the dark side, I get from a story standpoint why he turned, and I get what George Lucas was going for. I just didn't think it was executed very well. It just seemed like that Anakin was more confused and just said, yeah, you know what? Why not? You say you can protect my wife? Why not? Sit down, ball. I hit that tiny bit too hard. This is what happens when you have Stimp 11. And I'm talking about Star Wars. Sorry about that. But overall, I still say this is a fun movie with some fun action sequences. The end fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin, I think, is great. Over the top, but fun. Kind of an odd word to describe that fight, but I enjoy it. So yeah. So we're going on to the sixth hole at Royal St. George's. Ranking the Star Wars movies, I'm going to reveal number 9. And if number 10 was Revenge of the Sith, number 9, Attack of the Clones. At this point, it's not hard to say that I'm not a fan of the newer stuff. I am a fan of some of the newer stuff, and we'll get into that in a second. We're going to talk about Attack of the Clones as we get ready to hit on this 157-yard par 3. I have Attack of the Clones ahead of Revenge of the Sith. Simply because I like the opening chase scene through what planet are they on at the beginning of the movie? Hopefully you guys know. I can't remember it off the top of my head. It's not Coruscant. I can't remember. I like the end of the movie. That giant battle scene on Geonosis I thought was great. Seeing Yoda fight for the very first time was a scene that I've replayed over and over again. That's short. I chunked that. It's going to be enough to get there, though. It is. I have a very long putt, though. 45 feet. I do think the scenes with Anakin and Padme on Naboo talking about love, whatever. Funny story about this movie. I actually saw this movie 2 times before it came out in theaters. Back in 2002, I was lucky enough to be invited to a charity screening. Someone I know had an extra ticket at the last minute, so I got to go see it. I also happened to work in a movie theater at the time, and when movies were made on film, you would have to test the film to make sure everything looked okay and it played properly. And I got to see it that way 2 days before it came out. So when it came out and my family wanted to go and see it, I actually fell asleep through all the new movie parts, and the movie was actually pretty fun to go see. That's a bad putt. Well, maybe not. I guess I did have the line there, huh? So if you fall asleep for like 30 minutes in the middle and kind of skip over all that stuff, it's an enjoyable movie. You're introduced to Jango Fett, which is kind of cool. The reveal that, sorry, I mean, I maybe hit that ball. I don't know what happened there. You guys saw that, right? That ball only went about 8 feet on a 6-7 foot putt. But for some reason, this thing had it blowing by 12 feet. Oh, double bogey. Double bogey with an asterisk, let's be honest here. We actually hit that pretty well. That putt pretty well. I don't know what happened there. Misread, but it's a practice round, so it's fine. So we're talking about Attack of the Clones. My number 9th ranked movie. Still fun though. Still enjoy it. That's a great drive. I kind of cut it a little bit, huh? But still great. I should stop saying that's a great drive because that's going to roll into the rough. Nevertheless, par 5, 214. Pins in the front. We can hit 5-iron here. Well, hold on, we're up. We're going to go to the left. We can still get 5-iron here. So I'll get my next shot. I'm going to reveal my number 8 movie. Right here on the left-hand side. Solo, A Star Wars Story. I like this movie. The only reason it's ranked so low is it's just unnecessary. I didn't need this movie. You know, I didn't need the Han Solo backstory. And I thought some of the plot points, especially with like Enfys Nest, just kind of meh. Love the train sequence when they are trying to steal the fuel. I forget what it's called off the top of my head. Pushed it right. Oh, that would have been good if I did not push it right. It's okay, it's par 5. We got 36 yards. So I thought that was cool. The whole sequence on Kessel, I thought it was great. I liked, I'm going to pronounce his name wrong, Aldine Eichenrich, or I apologize, I know I'm saying his name wrong, as Solo. You know, you're not going to get, I'd rather them have do that than DH Harrison Ford. So, should be a good ship. Come on. Got it there. Beautiful. All right. I think that's a birdie. So, yeah, Solo was a fun movie. I probably would have ranked this higher if it just was the fact that it just didn't need it. It was clearly felt like a cash grab when I was watching it. I know there was a lot of behind the scenes drama here with this movie. So we're at hole 8, 282 yards. I'm going to hit my driver. get it out there. We've been hitting the driver well so far. Cut it again. Hit off the toe of the club. I need to swing more up on the ball rather than across it. Deep rough 170. We got to get up. So we're going to go 9 iron. Make sure we get enough. And then we're just going to aim it right there. So, to recap, for those of you tuning in or watching this on replay, playing Royal St. George's, we are ranking the Star Wars movies. They're on the left-hand side of your screen. Probably somewhere right here, right above here, right there. So you can see Last Jedi, Book of Boba Fett, Rise of Skywalker, Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones, number 8, Solo. And I also stated before, Revenge of the Sith is the turning point of where I kind of felt the movies were, or shows were a little bit lackluster. Maybe had some good moments, but overall, I don't really care for them that much. But Revenge of the Sith, I do enjoy, I do like as a movie. But when you like the majority of these movies, oh no, what happened? I have to do that again. Oof. You know, some are going to rank lower than others. Deep rough, I can still hit a 54 out of here. So 70 yards, we're in the deep rough. I'm hitting a 54 degree. I'm going to hit the solid though. There we go. Get in there. A little too good. Are we putting for par though? We are putting for par. All right. I'm going to grade. Don't hoping that the sensor didn't trip. It did not. Good. After this, I'm going to have to go collect some golf balls. But for now, we're going to try and hit a 22 foot putt for par. Sunday night. Hope you guys had a good weekend. If you're watching this during the week, I hope you guys are having a good week. That's a great putt. That's a great putt. Oh, just didn't go far enough over. That speed was on point though. So I gotta go collect these golf balls. So I have a place to I can keep playing. Talking Star Wars, I'm gonna reveal my 7th. We're at the midway point of this list. We're just about halfway through the round. We're on hole 9 here. So yeah. If you agree with my ranking so far, let me know. Drop a comment. So tell me if my opinion is right or wrong. I promise I won't get mad. We're gonna hit a 3-wood here. How's my golf game? We're 4 over after 9. We did have a misread on a putt that cost us 2 strokes. We had about a 6-foot putt a couple holes back, and I had a pretty slow one, but it went like 12 feet past the hole. So hit a nice 3-wood out there. After this hole, we'll reveal number 7. Pulled it left. Just hit it wide. Just hit it awful there. Not how I want to hit my 3-wood. Definitely do not want to be in the deep rough at this course. So, 142. I'm gonna hit an 8 iron. This kind of put me in the mood to go watch a Star Wars movie after this. Maybe I will. Although it is Sunday, and I think House of the Dragon's on. So, maybe next live stream we'll talk Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. We'll see. But for now, I want to sink this right next to the pin. I pushed it right. Oh, that was bad. I did not line up at all correctly. I pushed a shot to the right. I felt it. You know, it's interesting doing these streams, these live streams, because I just want to come here and silently play golf. I want to have a bit of a conversation here, even if that conversation is a little bit of one-way conversation to start. So, yeah, we got 21 yards. We're just gonna hit a sand wedge, try to put it on top of that hill and let it roll to the hole. I think we did just that. Oh, we hit it too hard. Hit it too hard. Oh. The funny thing about solo that I was talking about with my buddies after it came out. Just keep in mind this came out, I believe, in May of 2018. I was trying to figure out Disney's obsession with tentacle monsters, because at that point I think every movie had some sort of tentacle monster in it, and we couldn't figure out. Trying to figure out. That's not a good putt. If Disney's like marketing team was like, you got to put tentacle monsters in. Force Awakens had the scene on the ship with the tentacle monsters. Rogue One had, at the beginning, the mind reading tentacle monster. I don't know if The Last Jedi had a tentacle monster in it when they were on the casino planet. I think there was one in the casino planet. I could be wrong. I think there was one though. Some sort of alien with tentacles. And by the time that movie came around, our theory was that the directors had been replaced because they refused to put a tentacle monster in it. And Ron Howard, when they're interviewing him, was just like, I don't know what I'm doing with this movie, but there's going to be a tentacle monster in it. So, all right. 9 holes, 5 over. We got to play a little bit better golf here on the back 9. But since we are now halfway through the golf, let's move on to number 7, Rogue One. Again, this is the midpoint of my list. Rogue One was a movie that when I watched the first 40 minutes or so, I was very down on. I was kind of like, oh, I guess this is the beginning and the end of Star Wars. The beginning was just kind of all over the place. For me, I did not like Forrest Whitaker's character. I just thought he was over the top and a bit silly. Driver here, by the way. That one felt so good. So good. So good. Wow, we really cracked that ball. I don't know if you guys can, that's going to come out on the camera. Might, but yeah, you see that? That's a giant crack that we just put in this golf ball. No one bites the dust. That's not necessarily a bad thing, because if the sensor actually picked it up, that probably only would have went like 180 yards. So what's going on with my sensor here? Let's take a look. This is not ready. Did I lose connection to it? It's connected. Sorry, folks, we are experiencing some technical difficulties. I might have to restart the sensor. Well, this is what you want in the middle of the live stream. Your sensor, that's the whole brains of this operation, suddenly loses connection. All right, so this is connected. This not ready. Why is it saying not ready? Let's it sees it because it's the day is coming off of it. We're gonna have to do a full reboot of the sensor, so I apologize. Let's talk about Rogue One while we do it. The ending, though, to Rogue One was great. We're on there on Scarf, and there's a giant battle scene, and you actually got to see a war happen, or a battle happen, on the ground in Star Wars. I thought that was a great scene. But the scene with Vader, that is what made that whole movie. You got the first time, I think it was the first time you really saw Darth Vader being Darth Vader. And that was cool. Him going down the hallway, throwing people, what did he do? Throw the guy against the ceiling, slice him in half. Absolutely great. Oh no. Well. Alright, are we connected? Let's connect. And we're going to reboot GS Pro. So, we're going to start at hole 10. We're going to exit game. Yes, I do have the default background on my computer. Congratulations. But we're booting back up. So, I apologize if you were watching this. Technical difficulties. My sensor got disconnected, so I wasn't picking up any shots. We're hoping this reset takes care of that. It looks like it's ready. So we were playing Royal St. George's. Where is it? Royal. Here we go, Royal St. George's. We're gonna show off the front nine. We already played 10. We are +5. Gameplay, we're gonna force realistic. We did stimp 11. We're gonna go. All right. Let's hope we are back up and running. All right. Well, I apologize for that. Did we play this hole? 11? But we're gonna go from 11. We'll just start at 11. We'll see what happens. It's fine. I already lost a little bit of time resetting everything, so this is just a fun round anyway to hang out and play some golf. And again, apologize for those technical difficulties. But we were talking about Rogue One. We're gonna hit the shot, put it on the green right next to the pin. Yes, we are. Oh no, I don't have anything way up. I don't have any of the data up. That was a 5-iron right into that bunker. Oh, literally the worst part of the course you can be in. Oh no. We're off to a great start here. I do think, the safe place to pitch it back. Can I pitch it out? We're gonna try and pitch it over there. So my thought here is we're gonna pinch it. I actually kind of want to pitch this over the green because I don't want to have a long putt. But we'll see. There we go. All right, now we gotta chip this close. We got a lob wedge here. We got 21 yards. We're gonna try and put it a little bit to the right. Well, that is not at all how I hit that golf ball, but I got there. So, yeah. So, I guess the Mevo is kind of having an off night tonight, but we're gonna play through it. Number 6 on my list is the show The Mandalorian. I very much enjoyed this show. Whereas I thought Book of Boba Fett had a couple good episodes, and most of the episodes were kind of meh for me. This was the opposite. I enjoyed most of the episodes. Only a couple were kind of meh for me. That was hit well, but I pulled it left. But we should actually be okay. We'll hit a 250 carry. Just want to make sure that I didn't break that ball. I don't think I did. It just didn't go as far as I thought it would. I believe there have been 2 seasons of this show so far. Very much enjoyed every minute of it. After watching The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, it was good to get back to a show that was a little bit of a different Star Wars show. So, oh no, we pushed it way right. Okay, oh, hold on, sit down. So technically we're 6 over. We were 5 over when we had the glitch, and I had to restart. So, but we're live. Live TV. You gotta kind of roll with the punches. 22-foot putt here. Slightly downhill, but very makeable. Watch this. No! I just needed to aim it a little bit more to the right. I went after that one, though. I was not too worried about going past it. So, 9-foot putt. That might be too hard. Yep. That might be too hard. The putting is a bit difficult right now. Not that these putts are the system's fault. This is user error right here. Excuse me. So like Mandalorian, so like Rogue One, it had a great ending with Vader. I very much felt that this had a great ending with, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the second season, with Luke coming in the end and kind of mirroring what happened with the Vader scene, to go rescue Grogu and the team. So, as you can see, like that, I actually plan to rewatch this before the new season. But I think I have some time because that new season's not coming out for a little while. Pulled it left. Oh, not that far left though. Kick right. Get in the regular rough. I needed that to go another inch. But 158 from the deep rough. We'll take a 7-iron, get some extra length here. Goal here is to not end up in one of those bunkers. So, got the Star Wars shirt on. Kind of represent hole 13. Let's go. Need a good shot here to get this on the green. Off the toe of my club. I swung hard there. I wanted to get this out of that rough and onto that green. So I pretty much swung as hard as I could. So if you happen to be joining or watching this back, we're playing Royal St. George's. We are ranking the Star Wars movies from my least favorite to my favorite. You can see the list over on the left-hand side of your screen of where we stand. We're on hole 13, and I am not. That's a good chip. That's a. Ooh, no. No, that was a good chip. I just aimed a little too far right. That was a good chip, though. You can see the list. The one thing I will say about this list is the number 10 spot, Revenge of the Sith, is where I still think it's a good movie. It's just not one of my favorites. If I had to rank my favorite movies of all time, Revenge of the Sith would probably be in the middle of that list somewhere. But it's at the bottom of the Star Wars movies list. So, 8 feet downhill. Nice gentle putt. That might be too hard for this. I didn't read it. Hopefully we don't have another issue. Hopefully that was just since they're not picking up. Uh-oh. What's going on? Alright, the sensor is fine. That's the good news. The sensor says ready. It's looking for a golf ball. It just didn't see it on those 2 putts. So, this putt should be fine. Let me start heading a little further back. It's going to read that one because that was god awful. Yep. If you remember on the front 9, we had a putt that kind of shot past the hole. It was a misread. Those happen. That cost me 2 strokes because I went by it and then had to come back and I missed that putt. In my mind, that cost me another stroke. I do this because in my mind, I try to keep track of these things. If I'm in tournament play, they count. There's nothing you can do. I just got to be more careful. But these practice rounds, I bet actually be 9 over because 5 over before the glitch. -3, so I'm 6 over. And we're going to reveal our number 5, the Phantom Menace. So, fun story about the Phantom Menace. When I was, this used to be my least favorite Star Wars movies. So when we just had 6, that period from 2005 to most of 2015, when only 6 Star Wars movies existed, 7 if you count the animated movie about the Clone Wars, but I don't. This was my least favorite. It was childish. It was silly. Like, no, I pulled it left. I just hit it wrong, but luckily, it didn't pull as left as I thought it did. All right, we're okay. I rewatched all the movies. The last time I watched them all was about it was right before the Rise of Skywalker. So that was a couple years ago now. Geez, 2.5, 3 years. I rewatched all the movies, and I really enjoyed this movie. Yep, it's for kids. Yep, there's a lot of silliness that goes on in it, but I love the pod racing scene. It was cool to see them attempt something different in a Star Wars movie. That's a great 3-wood. Stay away from that bunker. Stay away from it. Get caught up. Perfect. So that whole sequence, the end fight with Darth Maul was great. Seeing Obi-Wan and Anakin for the first time, even as kids, great. I know that there's been jokes that this movie's unnecessary in the eyes of the lore, that you can skip it, but I like it. Like, it's fun. It brings me back to my youth as a kid. This came out when I was in high school, and it just, a bit of nostalgia at play here with this movie. I admit it, but on, roll. Keep rolling. Keep rolling. We're hunting for bird here now. I enjoy the opening scene, the setup. I know they talk a little bit about tax routes and blockades and the Senate, but as I get older, I kind of like that stuff. And I really, what I didn't appreciate when the movie came out that I appreciate much more now is how George Lucas was clearly trying to go for, oh no, I should have been a birdie. He was trying to give us a different side of Star Wars. He was taking us back to a time before the Empire, before there was the struggle between the Rebellion and the Empire, where there was a big galactic Senate that had a lot of power, and showing us that how the Jedi Knights operated and how the Council worked, and yeah, you got to see all that in Episode 1. You got introduced to a great villain in Darth Maul. I think the fact that he doesn't really say much, he lets his actions speak for him, created a great villain. It was sad that he died in this movie, as I always said. Though one of the things the prequels should have had going for it is if they didn't kill Darth Maul off, they let him be the bad guy. Instead of introducing us to Count Dooku and General Grievous, just let that be one character, let that be Darth Maul. I thought that would have been a lot better. So, but I can't hold that against this movie too much. If you haven't watched The Phantom Menace in a while, and you watched it when you were like a teenager, go watch it again. As an adult, especially if you have kids, go watch the movie again. You'll find a newfound appreciation for it. Like I said, this one being from my least favorite of the prequels, it's my favorite one. I put it on every once in a while just to go back and watch it. And again, that pod racing scene was done very well. Kind of weird at first, I thought, when I was younger, but pushed it right. Not too far right, though. Get over those bunkers. Hop over that bunker. Come on. Yes. Perfect. What a bounce. 175. Yeah, so that's The Phantom Menace. Let me reveal number 4. Return of the Jedi. At number 4. And if you're watching this list and you're doing some math, yeah, there's a movie in my top 3 that probably most people won't have in their top 3. But when I get to it, I'll explain why. For now, talking about Return of the Jedi. This was the movie I watched the most as a kid, growing up, believe it or not. Mostly because I like the effects in this. If you watch the original Star Wars, the lightsaber effects were kind of trash. But by the time this movie rolled around, they were much better. Same thing I thought with like the whole Death Star sequence. I thought that was just much better looking in this movie than it was in the original. So a lot of aesthetics there. Pushed it right again. I almost fell over. I need to take a second. I mean, in my defense, I am talking about Star Wars while I'm trying to hit. So, I thought this was a great finale to the series. I thought the Ewoks were. I'm not a big fan of the Ewoks, but to each his own. But I love the opening on Tatooine where Luke goes to rescue Han. 24 yards. We're using 58 degree. That's fine. That might be a little too far. Yeah. When I was a kid, the first time I watched this movie, when the bounty hunter that shows up that turns out to be Princess Leia, when it turned out to be Princess Leia, that was like probably the big audible gasp I had at any point in the series. Like that just caught me completely off guard. Not what happened in The Empire Strikes Back when Vader was revealed to be a father. That was Princess Leia. I thought that was a very good. I think anybody paying attention probably knew that was coming. But as a 6-year-old or 7-year-old when I was watching it the first time, I did not expect that to happen. I didn't think it was going to be her in the suit. So the fact that it was definitely was probably the biggest, uh, most shocking reveal, which is, I know, kind of silly, but it is what it is. All right, we made the putt. Was that a bogey technically? It is what it is. We got 4 holes left, 3 movies left to show. So I'm going to go ahead and now reveal the number 3 movie. And yes, it is The Force Awakens. I enjoyed this movie. We got 167. I think a lot of people, when they saw this movie, loved this movie. And then as time went by and people thought about it more, and some of the new sequels came out, people liked this movie less and less. This did not age very well, I think, in a lot of people's minds. But this movie did what it needed to do when it came out. Keep in mind, in 2015, we only had the original trilogy and the prequels. And a lot of people didn't like the prequels, at least at the time. I know a lot of people did like the prequels. I was friends with a lot of people who very much enjoyed those movies, but they were effects heavy, CGI heavy, and the acting was pretty light in those movies. That was hit well. A little bit right, but we're okay. We're on the green. And you have to keep in mind that, and I put myself in this group, we wanted to go back to the original trilogy. I wanted a movie that felt like the original trilogy. And this one is just a ripoff of many things that people liked about the original trilogy. And it reminded me why I love Star Wars. Seeing this in the theater, packed full of people, cheering on everything that was going on, getting these new characters, getting the sense of mystery of how this ties in. I enjoyed every minute of it. That's not a good putt at all. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it is. I was off on that one. I just this movie holds like a special place in my heart for being able to do that, to sit on the edge of my seat, to not know what's going to happen in this movie, especially with some of the characters you love, like Han Solo, Chewie, Princess Leia. At the time, I genuinely didn't know who was going to get killed off. I was watching the movie, or when. So I actually felt there were some stakes there. I obviously didn't think they were really worried that they were going to kill off Rey, or Finn, or Poe, because those are the new characters you want to carry the new trilogy on. But general concern for some of the younger characters, and wondering when Luke's going to show up. So, even though he shows up for a minute at the end, getting him teased at the end was great. That's a great drive. Ooh, a little bit too much of a cut. Take it back. It was an okay drive. But yeah, I will defend this being that high on my list because it reminded me why I like Star Wars. And yep, it definitely was a rehash of A New Hope. But that's what I wanted back in 2015. That's the type of movie I wanted. I got it, and I loved it. So I give Disney and the team credit for doing that, even though I don't think a lot of people like that as time went on. So we're halfway through the 17th hole, so why don't I reveal my number 2, and that's A New Hope, which at this point makes number 1 The Empire Strikes Back, so I'll just reveal them both. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone that these movies would be the top 2 on my list. I'm going to share a kind of a funny story about these 2 movies here after I hit this shot. That's a terrible shot. So when I was a kid growing up, I was young. This is like 5. Maybe I was 5, 6, 7. I was young because it's one of my first memories. We just gotten a new TV. Shouldn't say it was a new TV. It was a used TV that my dad had fixed. It was a front projection TV. At the time, most TVs were rear projection. This one was a front projection. You actually pulled out a mirror and light shined off of that and reflected onto a screen. And when he fixed it up, the first movie he puts on is The Empire Strikes Back. It happened to be on the Sci-Fi Channel that day, and it was in Letterbox. So my dad was thrilled. And we're watching the opening scene on Hoth, and I'm like glued to the TV. This is the most, like, the coolest thing I've ever seen on the coolest TV I've ever seen. Like, my mind was blown. And we're sitting there watching it, and I look at my dad. I'm like, what is this? This is great. My dad looks at me. He goes, "What do you mean?" And it was at that point my dad realized I had never seen Star Wars. I'd never seen A New Hope. My first introduction to Star Wars was The Empire Strikes Back, the Hoth battle scene. And so this was right around Christmas time. So for Christmas that year, oh no, my parents gave me the original trilogy on VHS. So that's how dated the story is. And we watched all 3 movies. I must have watched those VHS tapes 100 times each. As I said before, I probably watched Return of the Jedi the most as a kid. But I watched them all the time. I actually would carry them around with me. And if we had to go somewhere, and I had to go, like if we were going to like an aunt's or uncle's house, for whatever reason, and I would go in the room and just put on Star Wars. Off the side of my club, going down memory lane too much. I gotta pitch it over that 10 on 18. So, while the effects in these movies aren't the greatest, especially they were revolutionary at the time. I shouldn't say they weren't the greatest. They just might not hold up as well given modern technology. The VHS were the original trilogy. This was before any special editions were released. As a matter of fact, when they released the special editions in theaters, I went and saw them. So I got to go see all the movies in theaters. They were the special editions, but I didn't care. It was awesome. Theaters were packed. So, finally pushed one right that I meant to. Get on the fairway now. Perfect. So yeah, that's my rankings. Empire Strikes Back is my favorite. I don't think that's going to be a surprise to too many people. Last Jedi is my least favorite. Probably not a surprise for half of you. But anyway, if you tuned in either live or watching this on replay, thanks for watching. If you like these type of videos where I play some golf and we talk about movies or sports or whatever, we could do more of them. Let me know what you think. That's what the comment section is for. Hopefully we'll play some better golf next time. I will say this. This is my first time doing a stream where I'm not just focused on golf, but generally trying to have a conversation. And I just thought this would be a breeze. That glitch did kind of throw me off there in the middle a little bit. Oh, that's a terrible putt. Oh, and it just missed. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in, for watching. If you like these videos, again, happy to do more of them, talk a little bit more. Other than that, hope you have a great week or weekend, and enjoy the rest of your day.